On July 6, 1996, the family of 46-year-old betting agent Bruce Weinstein noticed that he had not opened his betting office, which was highly unusual for him as he was fiercely dedicated to his work. Bruce's brother, Stephen Weinstein, along with their mother, went to check on him at his home where he lived with his girlfriend, Amy Deschamps, to see if he was sick or something else was wrong. However, they were surprised to find Bruce was not at home. Amy informed Bruce's family that she and Bruce had planned a family trip to Lake Tahoe, but a phone call Bruce received the previous evening had forced him to leave the house unexpectedly. Bruce told Amy that if he didn't come back, she should go to Lake Tahoe without him. The family went to check around Lake Tahoe but found no trace of Bruce. They discovered that Bruce had left his phone and wallet, which contained his credit cards, at home, raising significant suspicion. Consequently, Bruce's family decided to contact the police and file a missing persons report regarding his unexplained disappearance. Would the investigators be able to find Bruce in time, or had it become too late? Investigators learned during questioning Bruce's family members that he was the father of a 6-year-old daughter named Jacqueline Weinstein, with whom he had a strong relationship despite his separation from her mother, Elizabeth, a few years prior. Additionally, Bruce owned a profitable business, leading investigators to believe he would not simply abandon his life. It was strange that Amy, Bruce's girlfriend who lived with him and was the last person to see him before he disappeared, did not come to the police station with the rest of the family to provide a statement that could be crucial to the investigation. Even more odd was her attempts to evade them when they tried to contact her. The investigators began to suspect Amy's direct involvement in Bruce's disappearance, prompting them to gather information about her and the nature of her relationship with Bruce. Through their inquiries, they discovered that Bruce had met Amy in 1995 when she owned and operated a small carpet and upholstery cleaning business. Their love blossomed quickly, leading Amy to move in with Bruce. The investigators remained persistent in trying to contact Amy, and after several attempts, they finally succeeded days after Bruce's disappearance. During their interrogation, Amy disclosed information she had not previously shared with the police or Bruce's family. She revealed that she returned home around 7 p.m. on the night before their planned trip to Lake Tahoe and was startled by faint sounds of a struggle coming from the upstairs area. Before she could determine what was happening, she heard 3 gunshots and was then confronted by someone who pressed a gun to the back of her head, instructing her to remain silent or he would shoot her. In that moment of sheer terror, Amy feared for her life, believing she was on the verge of death with only the trigger pull from her attacker separating her from it. Amid her panic, she heard what she believed was Bruce's body being dragged down the stairs, suggesting the assailants had just removed his body before leaving. The intruders ordered Amy to clean up the chaos they had caused in the house and warned her not to contact the police or inform anyone of the incident, or they would return to take revenge. Strangely, Amy complied with their demands, cleaning the home with her own cleaning supplies. She later explained her strange behavior by saying she was afraid they would follow through on their threats. Based on these developments, investigators sought a court order to search Bruce's home, particularly the bedroom Amy had identified as the scene of the crime. However, they found no fingerprints belonging to the perpetrators nor any shells from the 3 gunshots Amy claimed to have heard. Yet, they did discover a large bloodstain and detected a trail of blood leading from the main bedroom to the downstairs door, indicating that Bruce's body had indeed been dragged out of the house, just as Amy had described. Investigators picked up on this clue and searched the surrounding area for any evidence or the location where the culprits might have disposed of Bruce's body, but found nothing. They also discovered a safe in Bruce's bedroom that contained only $20, while about $100,000 was missing. This raised suspicions that the crime might have been committed by organized crime groups. These suspicions were further confirmed when investigators uncovered that Bruce had been working as an informant for LAPD for several years, as part of a deal made to avoid jail time for illegally printing books. This information significantly bolstered Amy's story and initially led to her being considered less suspicious despite the strangeness of her account. Investigators began to look into individuals Bruce had caused to be arrested, but this approach yielded no new developments in the case. During the course of the investigation, they learned that Bruce had gambling issues, being $5,000 in debt to his informal partner, Ken. However, Ken provided a solid alibi. After failing to find any leads that pointed to the culprits Amy had described, investigators returned to their initial suspicion of her. They attempted to contact her again, but this time Amy had completely vanished, leaving police uncertain if the assailants had carried out their threat and made her a new victim or if she had been complicit in Bruce's fate. On August 11, 1996, some hunters in a remote desert area of Las Vegas discovered human skeletal remains, which emitted a strong chemical odor. An autopsy revealed a .30 caliber bullet had been extracted, and dental records confirmed the remains belonged to Bruce Weinstein, who had died from a single gunshot wound. Contradicting Amy's claim of hearing 3 shots, she became the main suspect in the case. As investigators searched for Amy across the country, she was actually stopped by a police patrol for speeding in Maryland. When approached by the officer, she attempted to lift her skirt to seduce him and avoid arrest. However, this cheap tactic failed and she was arrested. Notably, Amy was found with a bag full of cash and clippings from newspapers covering Bruce's murder. She was released after paying her traffic fines and after her family posted bail for charges related to her attempt to seduce the officer. Upon her release, Amy vanished again. At that point, investigators returned to the location where Bruce's body had been found, hoping to discover further evidence related to the case. In January 1997, they found a .38 caliber gun in the desert, which forensic tests later indicated was the murder weapon used to kill Bruce. Investigators identified the original owner of the gun through its serial number, leading them to someone named Robert Wayne Jones. Consequently, they obtained a search warrant to arrest Robert and search his home and vehicle. But, like Amy, he had already fled and disappeared. Upon searching Robert's home and car, investigators noted the same chemical odor that had emanated from Bruce's body, suggesting Robert was also involved in disposing of Bruce's body, not just in providing the murder weapon. Investigators surmised that both Amy and Robert had participated in Bruce's death and had applied heavy amounts of cleaning chemicals to accelerate decomposition and hide any evidence. Consequently, Amy and Robert became top fugitives in the United States, with their descriptions and photographs disseminated in the media. This strategy led to Robert Jones's arrest on June 7, 1997, while he was hiding in border state New Mexico, indicating he was attempting to flee the country. However, the arrest of Amy was delayed until January 3, 1998, in Florida, where she was found working at a strip club. After she was returned to Las Vegas, Amy was interrogated again but maintained her original story, claiming that members of the mafia had killed Bruce. However, this explanation failed to convince investigators this time, and Amy and Robert were indicted together in October of that year. Amy Deschant was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, while Robert Jones was convicted of assisting her in disposing of the body and providing the murder weapon, receiving a 5-year sentence. Amy's attorney appealed the ruling and obtained a retrial 3 years later. This time, Amy accepted a plea deal and admitted to the details of the crime, stating that her motive was to steal money Bruce had kept at home. As part of this plea, Amy's sentence was reduced to serve between 10 to 25 years, and she was released in 2011 after spending 13 years in prison, while Robert, who had already served 3 years, was also released.